The first one was a quickie. That's not what she said. That is what Fact Revolution said as we are getting into game number 2. 24 minutes was the first game, Ivan. Do you have any big impressions except for Atlantis looking really strong?
Like we said, we wanted leader to show up. He showed up in Champ Select and picked Echo. Unfortunately, it did not translate into the game itself. We'll see. Now they have swapped side, so maybe they can get like one of these powerhouse mid laners. We saw Atlantis banning out 3 mid laners in the first rotation there, which is pretty uncommon. So we'll see here if Fact Revolution can, pick something good for leader.
Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen there in game number 2. But before that, let's take a look at how the teams got here. We've been seeing a round robin with 8 teams. Now, actually, we're going to see the semifinals here with the first one going on right now with Atlantis versus Fact. And then later on, it's going to be PPK versus Singularity, with both Swedish teams being on there. Let's see if we can get the brackets, or sorry, the group stage up to see how the teams actually got here. And we do see Atlantis and PPK at the top with Singularity and Fact further down. And this really shows like how long they've been playing. They've been playing for several weeks, a 8-game round robin, and that is all about the qualifying for the finals. The finalists get the spot in the European League. They also get a lot of prize money. It's 200,000 kronor that these players are playing for. So a lot on the line here.
Yeah, and Fact Revolution, not only all these things that you mentioned, they also have their shot at revenge here. They went 0-2 earlier playing Atlantis, so they really want to show up here and show that they are not the lesser team in this matchup.
But so far not looking too hot for them. They had a 24-minute surrender in game 1. Let's see if they can bring it back here in game 2. Something we mentioned with the pick ban is that the targeting on leader was very heavy from Atlantis. Do you think that Fact can utilize this in some other way? Like they had almost all AD carries open, all junglers open. Do you think that they can do something creative with the pick ban there?
Yeah, we talked a bit about the Skarner pick. They picked Skarner really early with every single jungler up. So that was a bit odd to me. Some people might say like, oh, you can just pick a jungler whenever because it's not a lane and you don't care about the matchup. But that's not at all how it goes. Like you can't just pick a poor matchup like they did. And maybe they had another plan and that just didn't work out. But I think, as I've said, like I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but this mid jungle matchup, it's the most important thing for these two teams. So we'll see here if, as we said, they have swapped side. They can pick a good mid laner.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be on the blue side now for Fact Revolution. They have the ability to get a first pick. On the side of Atlantis, though, they have the chance to get the counter picks in with the last one. With that said, let's jump straight into the pick bans here for game 2. Let's see if Fact Revolution can bring it back. We talked about Lighter in the mid lane. Are there any other lanes that you think stand out here?
I know Svena he's been playing a lot of carry top laners. Like he loves to play Irelia, maybe not so much like in competitive, but in solo queue he loves to play Swain and Urgot, like these kind of off tanks.
He played Trundle earlier in the tournament?
Trundle, definitely like one of those top laners that can really like pressure or like destroy a side lane in the late game. So maybe Svena wants to stop playing tanks and like pick up his team for once. But yeah, we'll see. I really want to see him play something a bit more fun than a Shogath or a Sion.
Yeah, we'll see about that. All the top laners getting through the first ban phase in the last game. And speaking of last game, the bans so far are exactly the same. Swain might be targeted towards Svene or maybe towards Krogs, and it is a champion that can go either lane.
Yeah, like you could almost say like these flex picks. When you ban them, you ban up to two players. So a lot of value on that ban itself. And here we see like a lot of mid lane bans again coming out from Atlantis.
Cassiopeia gonna be off the table this time though, so if Atlantis wants to...
she's not. She just they banned her.
Oh yeah, she's off the table there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. With Ryze getting banned out as well, that is 4, maybe even 5 middle laners getting heavily targeted. The Caitlyn first pick is something that we've been seeing a lot in this tournament, getting that good laning AD carry that can get a lot of sieging power down.
Yeah, like I love Caitlyn like as a pick in the early rotation. However, sure, it will be a completely different matchup, but I feel like Atlantis has a really strong bot lane. Like we've been talking a lot about their individual skill, but their bot lane is super strong. I feel like it's going to be super hard to punish them with a pick like Caitlyn.
And we see here with all the junglers open, Aesthetic still chooses to go for the Olaf. Last time it was picked in a beneficial matchup, but right now blind picking that Olaf. We'll see what Sharp can get out to perhaps counter that.
I want to see the Lee Sin here and Olaf top, but like you said, I think it's Olaf jungle and Aesthetic is just having a little fun with us. Yeah, there we see the Sion locked in. I don't get to see Svenne play a carry today, unfortunately, or this game at least.
Yeah, that is a big tanker frontline. The Olaf and Sion, those are two champions that are hard to kill. And ooh, there we go. Can we call that a favorite champion of yours even, with a Nidalee jungle getting locked in?
I mean, I love to play her. I can't say I'm very good at her anymore, but I do love seeing Nidalee. I hate to play against her just because she's so oppressive. However, like, Olaf is arguably even more oppressive. It's so hard to play against Olaf as any squishy jungler. Like he just beats you down, and it's super hard to get away. Like if he lands one axe, you're dead or you have to flash. So it will be really interesting to see here what Sharp can do with this Nidalee.
And we're seeing just after the first 3 picks that Factory Evolution have the makings of a great like siege and poke comp. They have so much catch, so much siege and zoning with like Caitlyn Morgana bottom lane with the spears coming in from Nidalee, two forms of traps, heals from Nidalee providing sustain and attack speed for the Caitlyn to get down the tower. So I think Factory Evolution are picking really towards that sort of a sieging, poking team comp.
Yeah, I really love that they are switching it up here because obviously it didn't work last game. So this shows that they haven't given up like mentally yet, so they are still up for a fight here.
Let's see. I mean, having two like real aggressive, oppressive junglers like this with Nidalee versus the Olaf. I mean, we've talked so much about the mid lane matchup, but I think it becomes even more important when you've got two junglers that wants to make things happen early on. The mid laner with priority will provide his own jungler with so much pressure on the map. So I really do think that the mid lane matchup is going to be super important here.
Yeah, we'll see here what they decide to ban. We see, like, as they picked Sion early, they are gonna start banning out all these other good, strong tank tops. We saw Factory Revolution picking up the Maokai last game, which is not really like seeing a lot of play in this meta. He's really just like, he's not that bad, but it's just kind of a last resort when you're out of tanks. So we'll see if they have to pick Maokai again. So
yeah, we'll see about that with the last pick there from Atlantis being the Sivir. That is a champion that we've not been seeing a lot. I was expecting the Tristanic to come in from Raphael, usually higher up on the tier lists. Goes for the Sivir instead, though, which I think has great synergy with both the Sion and the Olaf when it comes to just chasing down and locking down the team that really wants to be kiting away from this Olaf and the Sion.
yeah, this is like the weakness of pick comp. Like if they get engaged on, it's game over for them. So they really need to pick up some disengage here, and it's gonna be hard against a Sion, Olaf, Sivir, and a Taric. They're just gonna run you down, stun you up, and knock you down. So it will be really interesting to see here what Fact can do to counteract this heavy engage comp.
Yeah, two things that are great versus poke are engage, of course, but also tanks. Like Sion and Olaf, they're not going to care if they get hit by an Nidalee spear. They're going to be standing so strong. Also, Warmonks is such a strong item, so even if you tank an Nidalee spear, if you're out of combat for a couple of seconds, you're going to be full HP again in no time. So I think picking up more tanks and more engages is a great way for Atlantis to counter this out. Let's see if Factor Evolution wants to keep this like poking sieging style going, or if they want to switch it up. And there's the Illaoi. You're talking about carry top laners, and there's one for Slamp.
Yeah, like last game we saw this kind of quote-unquote boring matchup, tank against tank, and here we see Illaoi like one of those super obnoxious champs that can really bully one like tank laners. So it will be really interesting to see here. And now it's up to Sharp to kind of like open up for Slamp so that he can make these plays and that he can really shove in Sion and hit him with the spirit. Yeah, just it's risky. They're putting a lot of eggs in this Illaoi basket, but I hope they can make it work.
Yeah, for sure, carry top laner right there. Echo getting locked in from leader. What is Krogson gonna be going up here in this matchup? A lot of mid laners off the table, and the Anivia gets locked in. So a lot of interesting picks right here with the Cryo Phoenix, I believe she's called, to round out the comp for Atlantis.
Yeah, I want to see Krogs and wall off Svenne at least once in this game. No,
when he's ulting, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. The hard counter to Sion is Trundle and Anivia walls. No, but Anivia is like really good against these comps that want to stand on your turret and hit the turret, because she can just place her ulti and walk back. and the wave just kind of dies without anyone needing to hit it. So they really need to establish a lot of Nash control here, which is kind of, it's not that hard. You have Caitlyn and Morgana, but like as we said, fighting in the jungle against heavy engage comps, it does not bode well in those scenarios.
Yeah, but I have to say that Fact really went away from that sort of a sieging poking team comp with the last 2 picks. I think they had a great making of such a team comp with the first 3, but with the Echo and the Illaoi, there's no poke, there's no disengage, there's just 2 big, hard-hitting melee champions that kind of wants to split push going into the later stages. So you think they're going to be swapping up their game plan here?
It looks like a 1-3-1 comp, but how are they ever gonna like push with 3 people in one lane against Sion, Olaf, Sivir, Tarek? Like, you're gonna survive for 5 seconds, then they're just gonna run you down. So I think, like just like last game, it's a lot of they're really putting a lot of faith in leader to make something happen here. Because on the side lane he can do a lot of good stuff, but in a team fight or like in just a push, it's gonna be really hard.
Yeah, we talk about the split pushing capabilities there, and I don't think, like, a good thing for Fact Evolution, I don't think there is a lot of good split pushers on Atlantis. I don't think they have any champion that can really stand up 1v1 to an Echo or an Illaoi.
And we see a short pause here, but no, as you were saying, like, Atlantis don't have like strong dueling split pushers. Sure, Sion can stand on a lane and just kind of wave clear. However, his damage does scale off quite hard, and it will be harder for him as the game progresses to like clear out a wave like it does in the mid game. And as we see also, Krogson is opting for heal here instead of teleport, which is something we see a lot of Anivia's run just to kind of counteract the really weak early game before she gets like 2 or 3 mana items.
She does have the Unsealed Spellbook picked up there though, so
sorry.
she's going to be having the heal for like the extra early game safety, better 2v2s early on, and then probably going to be swapping to the TP with the first recall.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you really need, like, it's going to be, she's never going to be able to kill Echo, but as long as she can hold him on a side, I guess it's going to be fine. However, that shouldn't really be her job in this game, so I hope that they can communicate their teleports well here, Svena and Krogson, to really counteract the split push coming in from Fact Revolution.
Yeah, and speaking more about the Keystones, I'm a bit sad to not see the Glacial Augment on the Morgana. We saw that once earlier on in the tournament, where you build Twin Shadows and then you have Glacial Augment. So when you shoot out those spooky ghosts, they get down a big AoE slow for like 5 seconds and makes it so easy to land a binding. However, that gives you almost 0 laning presence, so she's chosen to go for the Aerie instead, which will be a lot better in the early lane.
Yeah, definitely with the Caitlyn. You need to be like using the abusive strength of the Caitlyn early game, so it's fun to see, like the interaction that you rarely see with the Glacial Augment and the active items, but I think it's definitely better to go with Aerie this game.
We do have a quick pause as the players are playing from home. They're sitting at their own computers in the warmth of their homes, so they will be about to resume on the game on the Rift actually as we come back. So that's why we had a quick pause, but now we're back on the Rift.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, we see here, actually this game Atlantis is stacking up in a death bush here.
We never see that.
30 seconds until
They actually leave the bush and they are looking to make a cheeky little invade on the top side.
Wondering if Svenny will walk up and try to bait Slump in a 1v1, and not sure if Slump will take the bait, but Sven is starting to walk up. Will Slump go for this? He won't, he's gonna be backing off. Interesting to also see Sharp not starting out with the traps and using those on the camps, which is something that you have been doing on Nidalee in the past, but she's gonna be starting with the Q instead.
Yeah, with you can kind of tell, like, she's starting with the Hunter's Machete, and I never really liked starting with the Talisman actually, because you can clear the jungle and like do a full clear in the early game. However, it's super risky. You go really low, and against an Olaf it's never fun to run around in your jungle with like 300, 200 HP. So the Machete here just staying up on HP, lacking a little bit of the early clear, but trading it off for safety.
And Nidalee is one of those junglers that we've been seeing doing the big invades like the most, going for those big steals on the buffs and so forth. Looks like Slemp is not going to be going for that immediately, instead going to be securing up level 2 camps in his own jungle, and then perhaps look for the invades on towards Aesthetic. And I'm really interested to see this Nidalee, what she can do early on in the game. Ooh, Svenny does so much damage on Slimp. I did not see what happened there, and gets the first blood in the 1v1. What was that? That is never supposed to happen, and Svenny's doing the victory dance in the lane. He went down for first blood in game number 1, but here he just solo kills Slimp 1v1 when he's a tank playing into a carry. Even what happened?
Slemp is just trying his absolute hardest to like push the lane in, but Svene is, I don't know, like he just kind of ignored Svene. I thought he didn't deal enough damage, but Svene obviously running the augment. Like, you're not gonna run away from a Scion with a glacial augment and his Q on level 1, and they just chased him down.
Svene putting down a lot of hurt early on, forcing the TP from Slemp. No flashes used though for either top laner, so that's not going to be a big factor, but Svene winning out hard in this 1v1 early, and I think that's very important because we're seeing this carry matchup. Like, if this would be signed into a Maokai and you solo kill the Maokai, sure, that's going to be annoying for the Maokai, but when you're playing an Illaoi that really needs to snowball, that's going to be even more important.
Yeah, for sure. Like, maybe Svene heard my call and he didn't get to play a carry top, but he wanted to carry the game anyway, so he's going in for this really aggressive trade in the top lane, just hitting Slemp with every single rotation of his
Aesthetic's
spells.
coming in though. Slemp has the flash, remember, so we'll see if he's being forced to use that summoner. Aesthetic goes down for some damage. Actually, Sveni flashes forward and Slemp flashes away immediately, so both summoner spells being used right there. If Aesthetic stays to push in this wave though, there is no TP for Slemp, so I really think Sven and Aesthetic should push this wave to punish the Illaoi.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure why they aren't pushing this wave together. Svene, now that I look at it, he actually has enough mana to clear out the wave himself, so I think he will be fine there. Like, Svene is so bloodthirsty, he's flashing in, he really wants these kills.
And we spoke of the earlier jungle invades. Aesthetic barely dodges away from the Nidalee Spear. Low mana for Sharp. Spear misses or gets dodged away from Aesthetic, so not going to be happening too much in the early 1v1s, except for the mid lane where Krogson is putting down the hurt.
Yeah, this game, Leader is having a much better time not playing against the super oppressive Cassiopeia. However, Krogson is still, he's playing a really weak champion in the early game and is keeping up in CS, so props to him.
Sharp's coming in. The leader is so low. That is going to be him going down to another auto attack. Flashes forward, uses both. Summoner is Krogson, dodges away from the Nidalee Spear barely. Doesn't even get the egg proc, but Sharp coming in. Aesthetic with the pressure though. Flashes forward. That is such an aggressive call from this Olaf. Flashes away into the enemies and is not able to pick up anything under the tower. So Aesthetic really going ham right there and does not pick up anything.
Atlantis really trying to cut this best of 3 short, playing super aggressively here. Sharp a bit too overconfident maybe, going for the kill on Anivia with the egg still up. However, trading out the flash for a flash and a heal, or actually 2 flashes and a heal, is still a good trade for Sharp.
Yeah, Aesthetic's gonna come down bottom lane though. No flash, no predator. If Lion lands the stun, this could be something going down. And there is the stun turn towards Axis. Has used the flash earlier. I'm not sure what happened there, but no flash for the Morgana means that she's going down. And Atlantis are starting the snowball early. 500 gold lead by 6 minutes.
Yeah, they are still just going to town, like taking every single opportunity that they can get to make a play happen. And we see Aesthetic here. Still, from the last game, just super aggressive, looking for ganks, looking for invades, making stuff happen all the time. Playing really well.
Svene is punishing Slemp right now. It's an even CS count, but Svene gonna have his TP advantage for about a minute. So not sure if Atlantis has any way of using that. Sharp is playing so aggressively in the enemy jungle though. Aesthetic is on the wrong side of the map, so Sharp will be able to steal away this camp. What do you want to see Sharp doing? I mean, this Nidalee jungle is really where you want to see a lot of early game action going down. What do you want to be seeing Sharp putting his focus on?
I was hoping that they could make stuff happen in the top lane, but Slemp made it a bit hard on Sharp after that level 1 trade-off. However, I still think it's possible. Sven has no flash. However, no, Sharp he doesn't want to go for the gank, just goes on and clear his jungle. But I like, as you said, I want to see him make stuff happen. I want to see him make a gank happen. But it's super hard.
Yeah, for sure. I'm also interested to see what this Nidalee is going to be doing later on. I think we've been seeing some different Nidalee styles. Either you can go for like super aggressive build with like a Lich Bane and just trying to put down a bunch of damage, or you can go really supportive, something like Athenes and an Ardent to just keep your AD carry safe. What do you think would be the proper choice with this team comp?
Usually in competitive you see kind of a mix, like building a Lich Bane gives you a lot of consistent damage. And
I have to interrupt you here though, because Aesthetic is going in. There is a flash in towards Sandia, so gets away. Burns the flash on the enemy Caitlyn though, means that Aesthetic can make a return visit to the bottom side.
Yeah, Zandia not really trusting his support there. Flashes despite having the Black Shield up and ready. Still, it's always better to be safe than sorry. But like, because of the pressure put down on the bot lane, Aesthetic is gonna go ahead and solo the Infernal Drake.
Yeah, not sure if there's going to be any sort of a contestation here later, and Sharp is around. Dragon goes down. It is an Infernal, and Leader is going in actually. Enemy bottom lane is so far ahead on the rotation though. Not sure if fact knew that their bottom lane was so far behind. Still forces the on the hunt and makes Atlantis go away, but I think they're happy with that trade. Gets the Infernal Dragon and is starting to snowball this game. Actually, the gold is closer than I thought though. Fact has been able to keep up pretty well after those early 2 deaths.
Yeah, like Caitlyn is still Caitlyn despite nerfs. She can always pick up these free creeps and build up a CS score deficit. And we see Sharp here trying so hard to make something happen, but just Sven is there to stop him in his tracks.
Yeah, this sign is a lot of an immovable object here in these situations. Lion actually used the Taric ulti there to go aggressively. Not able to pick anything up though, so no ultimates in the bottom side for Raphael or Lion. If Axis hits level 6, that could be the potential for an aggressive play on this Morgana, but as a Morgana you generally just want to sit back, keep your Caitlyn safe, and get some tower damage down.
Yeah, I feel like there's a change in mentality here for Atlantis. They aren't making any big mistakes, but they are trying so hard to make stuff happen on like every single corner of the map, and it's really fun to see.
Yeah, really setting up for the big engages and trying to make the picks. Do you think this is because they have a worse scaling team comp, or do you think it's just their mentality has changed?
I kind of think that they are feeling really confident since the last game here. And like, Aesthetic is still playing one of his favorite champs here, so he's obviously super confident in, and like is a very effective and good shot caller.
Oh, flash in from Leader, who's going to be proccing the egg here from Krogson. He's going to be able to get out with the Chrono Break. Yes, there it is. Sharp takes a lot of tower damage though. He's going to go down on this Nidalee. Trades his life for Krogson, so that tower doing more damage than I thought. Here goes the Ragnarok from Aesthetic and does not care about the binding when that Olaf ulti is on. Sandia does have AC in the hole. Does he want to use it on towards anyone here to keep the trading going? Actually gets stunned up by Lion, and there's a Boomerang Blade forcing Sandia away. Ignite goes down from Lion. I did not know he still had that on. Heal from Footwork coming in to just barely save Sandia's life. But Axis going down there means the 2 deaths on the support position.
Yeah, and Sandia is so low, he can't eat this wave, and it's gonna really suck for him. And they did get the kill off on Krogson, which feels really good for them. However, it did not go quite as well as it could have. Sharp accidentally jumped into the wall instead of onto Anivia, and that's why he managed to survive for so long. However, a kill is a kill, and it feels good to have a kill on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Sharp really trying so hard to make this Nidalee work. Picked up the kill in the mid lane towards Krogson. Did not burn the flash of the Anivia though, so that means that this Birdie, who is usually very slow, with a very low base movement speed and no innate mobility spells, will be kind of hard to gank still with the ulti and the flash available. There is a proto build from Leader though, that as he uses that in the mid lane, procs the electrocute. This might be the dive on towards Krogson. Remember, there is no egg on this Anivia, and flash forced. That is the Leader we wanted to see.
Yes, Leader is finally stepping up here and going for a super aggressive trade. Perhaps Krogson was a bit too confident there to walk up.
Sharp is around, is going to be looking for a spear. Krogson knows what is up, though Aesthetic might be looking for the 1v1, but these junglers are absolutely even, but there is a challenging smite on Sharp, so that could be a big advantage in a potential 1v1. Leader is jumping in there on the tier 2 tower, and so is Sharp. This Jew is going so aggressively. Sharp forced to flash away, so, I mean, Factor Evolution, they are not going to be backing down from a fight. Krogson, oh, he's so close to getting taken down by later. Innings I think he interrupted his auto attack with that chrono break.
The nerves are getting to leader, I think. It was just a split second too early on the ulti there.
Svenny might be going down here though to a lot of damage, but Lion has been roaming up. This is such an aggressive game from both of these teams, grouping 4 people around the mid lane, and wow, that misplay from leader. I mean, he's been playing great so far. He's been almost making the snowball happen, and then just ultis like a quarter of a second too quickly.
It was really just super marginal, and yeah, it sucks to see. However, it was like he's in the right mindset. He's trying to make these things happen, and that's super positive for Factor Revolution. And the gold deficit is super small still, and yeah, definitely really good for Factor Revolution here. Only a 500 gold deficit.
Yeah, that is pretty big, especially since First Blood Tower went down in the bottom lane with, I think it was Raphael getting that 1v1. Tower kill. Son is getting engaged on by Sven and tries to put some damage back, but Sven has a frozen heart completed. Slemp TP's in. Can Sven get out of this sticky situation? What he's going to be trying to do, he's running into the enemy jungle, but there is an Axis on the Morgana trying to come in for the punishment. Sonya is low now, but Slemp is coming to support him. Sven is wasting so much of the enemy team's time, though. He's been running around here for like 15 seconds, and he's going to be running for at least 15 more. Is he going to go for some sort of an execute? Flashes forward, does Slemp, binding misses, or gets dodged away from Svenne, but he's going to be going down here. Is taking the enemy team on a big adventurous trip right there, though. Aesthetic in the mid lane, great wall. Flashes over, does see Aesthetic, but Leader with a great chrono break back, almost takes down Krogson. Ragnarok coming in, though, tries to put down the hurt onto Leader. Can he dodge away on this Echo? Ease over the wall, and is he going to be able to get out of this? I'm not sure. And Svenne, he's been surviving for such a long time. What a crazy Sion player. Meanwhile, Leader is trying to escape on the other side of the map, so Leader and Svenne really making such a great job. And Leader jumps over that fat wall.
What happened mid lane? And if he got egged?
Krogson got like egged from the minions, or maybe the Caitlyn ult. No, that was the minions actually. Leader is gonna get executed here. He's able to. Wow.
Yeah, I don't blame our cameraman for not being able to keep up with all the action. Just every single player decided to make something happen right there, and while all of that was happening, Atlantis actually managed to pick up the top turret as well, so extending the gold lead a little bit there.
I thought it was such a great play from Svenne, like, not ulting in, but after he ulted in, he was able to waste so much time from the enemy team, but then that was kind of counteracted by Leader wasting so much of Atlantis' time running around in the top side and even got out with execute. But I think the big important thing to take away there is both of the outer towers and the mid and top lane went down in favor of Team Atlantis. So 3 turrets to 0 gives a lot of gold and a lot of map control. Svenne though, he's doing so much damage in the 1v1. You're expecting Illaoi to win this 1v1 duel, but it's Svenne gonna be putting down a lot of hurt. Illaoi does have some lifesteal to take it back though.
Yeah, Slemp here is actually up 40 CS, which is super great, and a lot of that is to blame, obviously, on, or blame, I shouldn't say blame, because Svenne actually did waste a lot of time. However, he did run around for like almost 2 minutes, like.
Was that even 2 minutes? I was gonna say 1 minute.
Yeah, I don't know, it felt like forever. So definitely, like, you can blame the CS deficit there. However, Svenne has 30% CDR, and it's just super obnoxious to deal with all these slows and all that CC coming out from Sion. It makes it super hard to duel him.
Rift Herald started up for Atlantis, gets spotted out immediately by that Vision plant, whatever that's called. Let's see if this is going to be a fight that Factor Evolution wants to take. Does not have the best vision, and there's so much catch potential from Atlantis along with the Anivia wall to deny them entrance, so this is going to be a free Rift Herald getting over to Fact. Actually, Svenne roamed up to the Herald when Slemp stayed on the bottom side, so even if Atlantis gets the Herald, that's even more of a top lane advantage for Slemp.
Yeah, Svenne is really just playing a super supportive Sion here, doing what he can to like further his team's lead. We see Sharp here doing like the only thing he can, provide vision, super hard to gank this Anivia, but Leader
Gets stunned on the tower. His leader Chrono breaks in for some damage. Here comes Slim, but here comes Aesthetic. Ragnarok is down with the Predator, and that is going to be Leader getting one-shotted by this Olaf. He's full tank, but he does not care. He's putting down the hurt. Sharp flashes forward, dodges away from the stun, and actually gets the kill on towards Krogs, and Aesthetic is going to be having a field day there, though, and picks up the kill on towards Slim. 3-0-1 right now for Aesthetic. He's popping off on the Olaf once more after that 2v2 fight in the bottom lane. Top lane mid, rather.
Yeah, Sharp, like we said, oh, I should hold the thought, because
Slim is going to taking a lot of hurt. Does have the ultimate though, so can potentially go for the 1v3 here with so much life still coming out. Gets stunned, but still gets the life still coming down. Actually survives for such a long time, but in the end gets taken down by Raphael. So a good roam there from Lion and Raphael.
Yeah, that's one of those moments where Illaoi is super scary to deal with when she can hit her tentacles on more than one person and just lifesteal for ages, but just not enough here.
Yeah, for sure. Mounted Dragon's gonna get taken over probably by Team Atlantis. With the vision board, they're able to take this for a while. And there is the Mountain Dragon going over. So Infernal and Mountain, it doesn't get a lot better than that.
No, definitely like the two best dragons. I would actually argue that you would rather have one Infernal and one Mountain than two Infernals. I mean, obviously it depends, but it's always super nice to have that Baron threat in the late game.
Yeah, for sure. Does not have the fastest Baron take in the game, but a lot of zoning potential around the Baron. I think that Anivia provides so much in that department.
Yeah, Sion as well. Super scary as a blue side team. Like they have two choke points against Anivia and Sion. Like they're gonna get hit with CC. However, they try to approach it.
Yeah, for sure. They do have the Morgana to potentially keep someone safe, but it's gonna be hard to stay on top of that. Looking more towards the picks that we talked about in the pick ban, we mentioned the Caitlyn a lot. It was the first pick from Sandia. He was kind of able to snowball in the bottom side, but in the end, his tower went down before his opponents. He's not even able to snowball in the tower damage or the CS department. He's down in items, and he's not making this Caitlyn look too pretty. How much do you think you can blame Sandia for this, and how much do you think it's the team that are not setting him up?
It's hard to say. I don't think... You obviously can never, or I shouldn't say never, but you shouldn't blame one player for a deficit like this. Like Aesthetic has been showing up bot lane a lot of times, and Sven is just super obnoxious to deal with. Has started to build MR as well.
Yeah, we spoke about this, that when the 1-3-1 is set up for Factory Evolution, it's going to be super hard for Atlantis to counter that in the 1v1s. 4-man siege mid though going down for Atlantis, but there is double teleport for Revolution. Factory Evolution, if they want to flank with Slimp and Leader, they have the opportunity to do so, but instead they're just going to be looking as their tier 2 mid goes down.
I was about to say, like, the entire gold deficit in this game is on the bot lane.
Oh, Sharp is caught in the jungle though, and there is the Bromasia going down. Lion actually flashing forward just to secure the kill on towards Sharp and getting caught out on one of the most mobile champions in the game. That's never something that you want to see. Speaking of being caught out, Leader here sitting low health, low mana. Chrono Brick is available, but I think it's going to be chased down by Svenne here in the 1v1. Actually, Leader might be able to run away from this. Svenne flashes forward, Chrono Break counters that out. Svenne does still have that unstoppable onslaught, so we'll be able to chase down Leader. Actually gets stunned up, so this is going to be a lot of a closer 1v1 than I thought, but there's the flank coming in from Lion. Gets the stun, gets the auto attacks, and that is Tarek just dan with the autos, finishing off Leader.
Very bloodthirsty Tarek here, flashing in earlier for an assist, and here just beating down Leader in the bot lane. I was about to say, I'm gonna finish my thought this time. Or maybe not, because they're starting up Nash here.
Atlantis does not want you to finish your thoughts as Leader is down for another 20 seconds. There is a Mountain Dragon, remember, so Atlantis can kill this Baron quickly. There's a TP coming in from Slim. Leader has TP in 12 seconds. This could be a big Baron fight as the zoning goes down. Sven is such a big front line. Are they going to be disengaging? No, they are staying on the Baron. And Aesthetic picks up the smite while Slimp is in the pit. Sharp is going to get caught out on this side though. Slimp might be going down as well here, and this is such a big win for Atlantis. They pick up 2 kills so far, actually 3 kills with Laxus going down as well. This is going to be Sandia, forced to run away, forced to use both summoners, actually gets hit by the stun from the Anivia, from the Terry, goes down as well. So Atlantis, they are really able to make this team comp work. I think they just went from a small lead to a huge lead with a 20-minute Baron and 4 kills going their way.
Yeah, this just went from bad to terrible for Fact Revolution. They sensed something was wrong and they were really fast to react on the Baron there, but just split calls, Sharp going for the back line instead of going for the 50-50, and like just so much consistent damage coming out of Anivia and Severe at this stage of the game. And like Caitlyn can't compete. She just finished her Infinity Edge. She needs at least 2 more items to be able to melt Svenne and Aesthetic. So like it's good that they have the Caitlyn. Like they can set up a good defense here, but it's gonna be super hard against this engaged comp.
I think it's fun that you say that with Krogson going for this like super late game Anivia build with Rod of Ages and Tyr, and still able to put down so much damage and zoning him that fight, really getting the hurt down and punishing Leader with such a decisive call on the Baron really ended up working out for them. I'm not sure if they were looking to pull off the Baron there or if they really wanted to finish it. In the end it was close to 50-50 with the Sharp coming in, but in the end Aesthetic Smite was stronger.
Yeah, Sharp actually, like as I said, he went up the ramp looking for a pick instead of going for the Nash. Like we saw Aesthetic, he was about to stop damaging the Nash actually because he didn't want to go for the 50-50, but Sharp just either not confident in his smite abilities or just split calls, as I said.
And look at this tankiness coming out from Svenne. He's taking so little damage. This is a Lich Bane Echo, by the way, and he's gonna get chased down by Aesthetic. He used the Chrono Bake earlier, and that is just the Olaf E getting down for the kill. And Krogsy just one-shot Slim before he can do anything. 1 versus 2 on this Anivia. Nidalee jumps into the Anivia ulti. What was that? Krogson manner flashes after that, and that is going to be a 23-minute surrender, going down Atlantis with the most decisive win I have yet to see in this tournament.
Yeah, Krogson just styling on his opponents there, didn't even have to use his Archangel's shield in the 1v2 there, which is really just pretty incredible. Anivia, like as you said, going for this late game build and still being able to 1v2 and Ilawe and Nidalee, like he just plays super well this game.
Yeah, absolutely, like outplaying across the board in every role. This might be the quickest best of 3 that we've seen in the tournament. I don't think we've seen such a strong showing from any team. And this is in the semi-finals. This is where we're supposed to be seeing the top 4 teams, the strongest teams in the tournaments, and Atlantis just takes them down like it's nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna sound a bit biased here again, but like as I said, the Swedish teams, they look really strong on paper at least. So much individual skill in these teams, and possibly, as I said as well, it could be because of them utilizing the import slots, but they just played super well macro-wise as well. I can't just give this to individual deficit, but so yeah, just really well played all across the board.
So wrapping up this series, there are of course 2 teams that are going to be playing in the next semifinals that have been looking really closely at this, PPK and Team Singularity. If you are the coach for one of those teams looking at this game, what do you think was the weakness of Atlantis? Do you think there is anything that you can see in this series and see, that's what we can abuse, that's where we can go hard?
I do, actually. I've thought a lot about this. I think Aesthetic, while he is like a great strength for Atlantis, is also like their one weak link, I would say, because you need to build a composition around him to shut him down. Don't give him like a winning jungle matchup. Don't give him 2 winning solo lanes. It's gonna be so hard to do anything. He just plays these obnoxious champions, goes into your jungle, wants to 1v1 you. So you really need to focus on like a good jungle matchup that shuts down Aesthetic and his early game pressure.
That's what we'll see if PPK or Singularity, the winner of the next series, will do in the finals, which is in about a week and a half. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back with series number 2, Singularity versus PPK.